Hey there, it's Kurt Molly. Hey, I'm glad that you landed on this video. I want to talk to you about a case study about one of our Advertiser Fix Finder tools. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been sending out emails. We've been talking a lot about these Advertiser Fix Finders that we've essentially created. Well, I want to give you a perfect example in a case study that we've worked with an e-commerce client. So essentially, a couple of months ago, this e-commerce client came to us and they said that their current advertising agency that they've been with for a couple of years just were no longer producing big ideas for their ad creatives to really help out with their e-commerce funnel. See, this e-commerce client had really started to see sales drop off. They needed to put in $1 and get $2 back for a return, so a 2 ROAS. The problem is they hadn't been seeing that in a long while and they didn't know exactly what was wrong. Their thought was that if they just got rid of their old agency, hired a new agency, everything would be perfectly fine. Well, actually, we use the Advertiser Fix Finder for e-commerce. We have these fix finders for lots of different funnels. And we started to look at the numbers that the other agency was running, and we found out there were actually two major problems the client had on their hands. And actually, it didn't really have to do with a lot with the advertising. So when we took everything back over, we set expectations with the client. I'm going to show you how we did that with the Advertiser Fix Finder tool. And then as we started to run the numbers and test more traffic, again, it became very clear what their two major issues were. And it actually didn't have anything to do with traffic. See, we talk to people all the time who don't understand why their stats are no longer working like they used to. It doesn't matter what type of funnel, could be on Facebook, could be on Google, could be on YouTube. The problem is we talk to a lot of people and they don't know exactly what's gone wrong or exactly what they need to fix. And a lot of times people just want to change everything and fix everything where they really don't have to. So I want you to look over my shoulder with this specific client. I'm going to give you the case study of what we did in the beginning, what we did in the middle, and then what happened next, and how we use this specific tool. If you would like access to any of these tools, I'll give you a link at the very bottom of the video on how you can get access to these tools. We're doing a 30-day sprint. We're working with people and all these different tools to basically show you exactly where the biggest problems are in your ads and or your funnel, so you know exactly what to work on and exactly to do next. Not only is this tool going to show you where the biggest opportunities are and the things that you can work on, but this tool is also going to give you specific training, insights, guidance, and resources to get these stats back up, to turn your campaigns back around to be profitable. So if you're making a little bit of money now, we want to show you how to make a lot more money. If you're wondering why your ads are in the red, we want to help turn those into the green, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do that. So let's go ahead, look over my shoulder. Let's take a look at this case study. I can't wait to show you this. And again, if you have any questions or you would like our agency to help you or you'd like access to these tools, click on the button down below. You'll find out more information. Let's go ahead and jump on into the case study. All right, let's jump on into the Advertiser's Fix Finder e-commerce case study. Now, keep in mind, the Advertiser Fix Finder, the process is really pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to collect 4 to 10 critical KPIs from the ad account. And these KPIs are going to vary depending on what type of funnel that you have. And keep in mind, a KPI is a key performance indicator. These are going to be very specific numbers that we want to grab depending on the ad type, setup, and the funnel to make sure that we're on track. Now, what we want to take a look at is what do those KPIs look like right now? What are your baseline numbers versus historic numbers, or what I like to say, the glory days? You know, people call us all the time and say, our ads were working 3 months ago, 6 months ago, or a year ago. Okay, specifically, let's take a look at what happened historically versus right now, and how does that compare up? Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at your current baseline KPIs, and we're going to compare that to industry averages, again, depending on your ad setup and your funnel, but we want to see, how do you rank overall? Are you on track? Are you in the red or the yellow or the green? Is it an A, B, C, D, F type of grade? And the next thing is, we're going to determine which KPI levers, what are the things that you can focus on and put in a small amount of effort for the maximum return. So many times people want to redo their ads, redo their funnel, redo the colors, redo the copy, but they only have to work on 1 or 2 things, like you're going to find out in this case study. Now, what's going to happen next is we want to predict what's about ready to happen next. This way you have a solid plan. So we're going to gather the information, we're going to take a look at the numbers, we're going to see how they compare to the industry averages, we're going to see what we can fix specifically, and then what the goal is to develop a plan so we know what's going to happen over the next 7 to, let's say, 10 or 14 days or even 30 days. So many times people don't really know what's broken, and then they're just going to keep on testing, and they're going to test lots of different stuff. We want to see specifically what we can fix, again, put in a small amount of effort in, and the main thing is know exactly what's going to happen next so we can measure and inspect along the way. Again, you're going to have a solid plan here. Now, we've created different fix finders for different funnels. We've also automated, documented, and gamified on how to fix your ads and funnels quickly, all without trial and error and all the guesswork I talked about before. We also have resource links, examples, expert referrals, and more. So essentially, you have your own options. You can learn how to do it on your own, do it yourself. We have some training around that. Or we have some done for you resources and links that if you would like to have someone hold your hand to help fix your specific problem. Or we also want to give you referrals for done for you services as well. Sometimes it requires some very specific professionals to tweak the one or two small levers that you may have in your funnel that can make a world of difference. It all comes down to making sure that you have options that's right for you with your goals, your budget, and for you to be able to take next steps with confidence. So again, these advertiser fix finders are tools anyone can use regardless of your marketing channel. Just 7 simple steps. We're going to get your ads and funnels predictable and profitable again, just like we did for the client that we're about ready to show you here in the e-commerce case study. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Advertiser Fix Finder tool right now for the e-commerce case study. All right, let's take a look at the e-commerce example. So here's what we're going to do is we pull up the e-commerce fix finder, and basically essentially what's going to happen is this. We want to collect these specific KPI numbers over the last 7 days. So what have you been doing over the last 7 days for your conversion-based ads? So how much was it spent? What's the cost per CPM that we're looking for? Click-through link rate, not who just clicked on the ad, but who actually clicked on the link to the landing page. And how many link clicks did you actually get? How many people clicked on that link to head over to that website? Landing page visits. So how many people actually ended up hitting your site? Sometimes you can tell this like from a Facebook report directly, or sometimes you're going to have to take a look at Google Analytics to see how many people clicked on your ad, and then how many people actually in Google Analytics, actually how many people landed on your page. Now with e-commerce, once people land on the page or sales page or whatever it is, the next step is to add to cart. And like in Shopify, what a lot of people have is people are going to add to cart. They're going to say, hey, I want this product. They're going to go ahead and start to enter in their credit card information, that is initiate checkout. And then we're looking at how many initiate checkouts you had, how many purchases you had, and overall, what's your average purchase conversion value. So what we want to take a look at is let's go ahead and pull the numbers right here for the last 7 days. So when we take a look at this client's example, they basically spent $2,500. The CPM was $16.25. The link click-through rate was 2.25%. That means they generated 3,516 link clicks. And from the people who clicked on the ad and actually hit the landing page, that's 2,637 people. 474 people added to cart. And then from the add to cart, put in their credit card information, was 142 people. Purchases, they had 56 purchases. Again, the average order value is $29.35. Now, what's basically going to happen here is some people only have an add to cart to purchase. Well, we would just make this number the exact same, but this is a typical kind of Shopify setup. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this window to the right just a little bit, because one of the numbers we're going to be focusing on here in just a little bit is, regardless of the funnel, what is the overall purchase conversion rate? So when somebody hits the landing page and to people who end up buying, no matter what's in between, a webinar, e-commerce, doesn't matter, but we're going to be focusing on this number right here. All right, so if you were using this Advertiser Fix Finder, all you would do is have to enter the numbers right here in yellow. Now, again, as I mentioned before, people will say, well, the ads worked really well for me 6 months ago or a year ago. Okay, well, let's try to find another 7-day period where they worked really well, where you typically spend about the same amount of money. So we do in this example here, I'm going to scroll on down, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a previous 7-day window. Again, I like to call it the glory days. What happens? We spent $2,500. The CPM was $11.25, 2.75% click-through rate, generated a little over 6,100 link clicks, 4,583 landing page visits, then 1,100 people and 45 people added to cart, 343 people entered their credit card information, and 137 people bought. Well, what we can see here is there's a little bit higher average purchase conversion value that happened back in the glory days. We're going to look into that. And we see this number right here is higher, that they were actually closing more sales at almost 3% conversion rate. That's a really good conversion rate. And I'm going to show you where we got those numbers here in a second, but we can just see just roughly that they're not closing as much as what they used to. Well, what I want to do is I want to now take a look and I want to compare What we're basically going to do is compare these glory days right here to what's going on right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. I like to take a look at the rate of change. We start to see that the CPM, it's actually gone up 44%. Now, there are certain ways that we can control a CPM cost, and I'm going to show you some of those access points here in a minute, but I mean, 44% increase just to place our ad is huge. What also looks like we used to have a 2.75% click-through rate, looks like it decreased over 18% to 2.25. So our cost has gone up. Less people are actually clicking on the ad. Well, what does that mean for link clicks? Oh my goodness. The same amount of money spent, 42% less clicks to our website. Oh, 42% less clicks of actually hitting the website. There's 58% less people going to the add to cart for the same amount of spend. So we're really seeing a big drop off here, a 58% difference of initiate checkout. Sales are down almost 60%. But but wait a minute, the glory days they were converting at 3%. Something's going on and people are spending less when they're checking out. Okay. So we've compared and we've seen that there's some pretty drastic price changes here and some pretty drastic traffic drop-offs. So the next thing that we want to take a look at is let's take a look at industry averages. What we're going to do is, again, we're just going to be taking a look at these 7-day numbers right here. And we're going to drop down to the next part of the calculator. Now, in this section of the calculator, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all of these numbers down here below. Essentially, these are what we call Kpi levers. This is going to give us some industry averages and know what to do next. So a really great number down here compared to industry average, this Kpi is going to turn green. So the CPM cost, that looks really good. Well, what does really good actually mean? Well, what happens right here on the Fix Finder, we can go ahead and just click on the report card, and we can see what would be an A, B, C, D, or F grade if we really want to know the specifics. So it looks like the click-through rate of 2.25% currently, well, that's pretty good too. It's a pretty great KPI. Well, the next KPI we have to take a look at is how many people actually clicked on the ad and hit the landing page. Well, we see here about 75% of people who clicked on the ad actually hit the landing page. So this is an average KPI, but I want you to look at the other way. 25% of the people who click your ad never make it to your website. We're going to give you some ideas on how to fix that here in just a couple of minutes, but this isn't the biggest problem that the client has. The next thing we got to take a look at is the add to cart. So people who hit the landing page, let's say on a Shopify site, how many people hit the landing page and then actually added to cart? So it looks like 17.97%. So again, this is an average KPI. Initiate checkout. So how many people went to add to cart to initiate checkout? It looks about 30% of people took that next step. And that's pretty close to a great KPI, but you can see the average here. Again, anytime you want to double check exactly what the numbers are, you can click on the report card here. What it looks like, the purchase versus initiate checkout, that's actually doing really good. So we have 3 green lights right here. Now, keep in mind, these are conservative. This is doing really well. So our CPM is doing well. Our click-through rate's doing well. Our purchase and initiate checkout's doing well. Something in the red right here is the average purchase conversion value. Now, typically what we like to say for e-commerce, for Facebook, and typically Google, depending on the search or display, we typically like to see an average checkout value of at least $50 because that's how the economics can really work out. See, at a 2% conversion rate, a 2% purchase to landing page conversion rate, that's pretty good. But no matter what your close rate is, it's going to have to be really high to make up for these other higher costs. Now, here's what we want to take a look at. So what this number reports right here, this is actually an average KPI as well for this 2.12%. Again, you can click on any of the report cards right here to see the specific numbers. Okay, now the next thing is where are we going to start making our improvements? We don't have to fix everything, so let's take a look at this. What our goal is we're going to go ahead and start punching in some different numbers here in the yellow. Okay, we're going to adjust the different numbers that really require the most attention. Again, we want to put in a little bit of effort for maximum results. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to see all the numbers add up. And we're going to see how that's going to improve our overall conversion rate. And again, these colors will change down over here if it becomes a great KPI average or if it's underperforming. Now, what we're looking for is realistic changes. Now, our next step is we want to start fixing the ads in the funnel. We want to, again, focus on the thing that gives us the maximum results for the lowest amount of effort. So here's what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and scroll on down. Now, this yellow line right down here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter some different numbers in here to try to improve our ad stats. And we're only going to work on certain things, right? Make small little changes to get that maximum effort. So what we're looking to do is to make realistic changes. Like we're not going to cut the ad cost in half right now. So what we want to take a look at is let's take a look at making changes where they're small changes, like within a 15% margin of change. So what's going to happen is I'm going to scroll down just a little bit more and it's going to pull up rate of change. They're all zeros now because I just matched the exact numbers to everything that we're seeing, like I mentioned before, up top for the last 7 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So realistically, this is a great KPI. Do we think we could maybe get down to, let's see here, what would 1325 be? Oh, that's 22% change. So that might not happen. What about 1450? Well, that's a 12% of change. Okay, so what can we do specifically to get down to $14.15 for a CPM? There's a couple things that you can do. Again, small little rate of change, what you may consider is you click on this button right here, it says pull this lever. It'll take you right inside of a gamified training that we have set up so you know exactly what levers to pull. You can see the video right here that'll take you step by step. It will document exactly what you need to do. We'll have additional resources, transcript, sessions audio. You can download the entire slide deck. You know exactly what to do next, and it's going to give you points for participation on exactly what you were working on and what you went to fix. So if you ever need to influence or pull a lever, you know exactly where to go to get your resources, guides, training. So again, you can do it yourself, have some done for you services, or find an expert to do it for you. So let's just go ahead and focus on these rate of change numbers. So if we could get the CPM down to $14.50, again, it's 12% change, maybe we change up a couple of audiences. That's one of the tips you'd find in the CPM training. Now, the next thing, if we look up top, we used to have a higher click-through rate back in the glory days. I'm kind of curious, I would take a look back at our ads to see what we were doing before, or again, you always have the option to learn how to increase your click-through rate even more. Pull that lever, go right to that specific training on how to increase your click-through rate. So let's just take a look one more time. What was our click-through rate before in the glory days? 2.75. That is an 18% difference. Let's see if we can go with that and see if we can change up some of our creatives just to increase our click-through rate just a little bit to that 2.75 again. Okay, so 2.75. All right, can influence that just a little bit. Now, the link click versus landing page view at 75%. Ideally, what we would like to be at is we would like to be at 80 or 85%. Let's see, what is an 85% completion rate? Yep, it's only 11% rate of change. See, a lot of times what will happen is websites become just really slow, and Facebook and Google and a lot of the ad channels are really critical to make sure that those pages load quickly. So what starts to happen is you start to see that more and more people who are clicking on your ad aren't making it back to the landing page. So you want to make sure that these numbers are relatively high. Again, sometimes it's just speeding up the page just a little bit. You can see that training underneath pulled that lever, but I bet we could probably get that landing page up there. So basically what we're doing is we're kind of maxing out as low as we can get the CPM, as high as we can get the click-through rate, what it's done before, and really, fixing that page to speeding it up to getting above 85% or higher of people making it to the landing page. Okay, so we're still at 2.11% close rate, which is pretty good, but let's take a look at some of the other things we may need to make improvements on. Now, if I run the client's shoes, what I would want to do is this is an average number. This is an average number. I would definitely check out the trainings just to see, is there anything that I can do to just increase these numbers just a little bit, because they really do. They make a huge difference. So let's just say that we get 20% of people to add to cart. That's a 10% rate of change. See, we're seeing that conversion number really start to go up. So we would take a look at the initiate checkouts. And again, the purchase to initiate checkout, we really don't have to fix. It's doing really well right now. But we do need to take a look at the average purchase conversion value. We really need to talk about, like, can we set up some bundle campaigns? Can we set people up on a subscription? Again, there's some ideas if you go down here to pull this lever on exactly what to do next. But here's what I want to show you. All the numbers that we've entered in, we now have a plan for our goal KPIs. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the next part of the Advertiser's Fix Finder tool, and essentially we're going to start to see what numbers we should really be spending time with. So what happens is when we scroll down to step number 3, now all the numbers that you see down here, all these orange numbers right here, These are all of your current benchmarks that you put in the very first row above. This is just going to compute everything, how many clicks that you had, the cost per click, everything else. And essentially what it's going to do is we're going to move over to the right just a little bit. What it's going to do is it's going to show our current return on ad spend. I mean, we're not even break even. We are definitely in the red. We're losing $856 in the last 7 days with a 2.12% close rate. I mean, at the end of the day, what we're really looking for is everything in this green line is return on ad spend. What's our profit and loss? And what does the overall conversion rate look like? Okay, now it's time to set up a plan and to start to predict. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down just a little bit further. Now we're going to see this green line. See the green line right here? This is going to predict everything that should happen. You know the numbers that we entered in right up here? See, what's going to happen is if we can get our CPM down to $14.50, increase that click-through rate 2.75%, and just get more people to that landing page, a couple of small tweaks, now we're going to start to see with the same amount of ad spend, right? Same amount of ad spend right here. Now we're going to see over 4,000 people hit the landing page versus 2,637. That's huge, huge. We want to start to see how all these numbers that we predicted right here actually start ending up. So this is really a 7-day plan, what we should start to see in the next 7 days if we make adjustments. Okay, so the main thing we want to look at is right here, is return on ad spend. Put in $1, make $1.12. Well, the client specifically in this case study said that they have to put in $1 and make 2. They have to. Okay, so to put in $1 and make 2, well, the only thing that's red is the average purchase conversion value. So what would happen if we bundled stuff together and let's just say the average conversion value was $45. After everything's all said and done, the customer buys that first time, let's say it's $45. Does that help get us to a 2 ROAS? No, it gets us to 1.71. So the client's still not at goal yet. So, I mean, the overall purchase to landing page conversion rate, this is getting better and better. But, what can we do to get to that 2.0 ROAS? So let's go ahead and change this red number again. So let's go from 45, what about 55? You know, we say we like to have an average cart value of at least $50. Well, that gets us to our goal to put in $1 and to make 2. So the first thing is I go back to the client and I say, okay, client, are you willing to raise your prices 46%? We have some ideas right there. If you go ahead and pull that lever, take it right to the training. But Mr. and Mrs. Client, are you interested and can you put a bundle offer together where we sell things at $55? Then everything works. If the client says, look, we've never been above a $30 average purchase conversion value. So with this client, they were selling something that was kind of a specialty item, but unfortunately, they couldn't bundle a whole bunch of stuff together to get to $50. They just hadn't done that before. So the current conversion rate with their pages, let's just do $30 for the average purchase conversion value. Okay. Well, now, so again, we're going to be focused on this number for the ROAS and the profit and loss. We got to get this to a 2. Well, again, the client comes to us and says, Kurt, our last ad agency wasn't doing very well with the ads. Well, according to national average, they're doing pretty good. What happens if we were to get, let's just say, a 3% conversion rate? What would happen, let's just say, if we got a 3% click-through rate? What does that mean? I mean, it's a 25% difference. Notice that ROAS doesn't actually change that much. Well, what happens if we got a 4% click-through rate on our ads? I mean, that's a 43% change. Still doesn't get us to our 2 ROAS. So I showed the client, I said, client, look, if we get a 5% click-through rate, we're going to get to your goal. But the best click-through rate you've ever had is 2.5%. The best you've ever had is this right here. So it's unrealistic that we're going to get that click-through rate up. So let's just say that this is our best click-through rate at 2.5%. Well, again, with the ads, with the CPM, can we decrease the CPM? Well, let's change this to $10. At $10, we're still not at our 2 ROAS. So, okay, what if we change a bunch of audiences? What about if we change a different channel to like TikTok? What about at a $7 CPM? We have to decrease huge to be able to get to a 2.15 ROAS. So we're probably not going to decrease the CPM that much. So again, let's change this back to 1450. So we're not going to be able to make a huge difference in the CPM. We're not going to be able to make a huge difference in the click-through rate. Now, we are able to make a little bit of difference on getting people from the ads to the landing page. But if we make all these improvements right here, we're still not at that 2.0 ROAS. What we need to start to take a look at is, well, if they're not willing to do the average purchase conversion value and move that higher, well, maybe what we're going to have to do is really take a look at, maybe we need to create a sales page, which we would find by pulling this lever. Maybe we got to create a sales page for a specific product that has a higher price point, and maybe where we can get more people to add to cart. Maybe if we could turn that to 25%. Oh my goodness, look what happens now. We have a 2.95% close rate. That's really good. I mean, at 3% close rate, you can scale traffic. But unfortunately, again, we are still not at the return on ad spend that we need to get. Okay, so let's just say we change this number to 30. That's a pretty high number. Let's say we're still not at 1.55%. And initiate checkout, a good score here would be 30, but we're already at 29.96. Again, you can see this in the report card. We're still at 1.55. So really it comes down to the client changing two major things, because I want to point this out. The changes that we've just made here are very realistic. This gets the client to a 3.52% close rate. At a 3.52% close rate on industry average, you should be able to scale traffic. You should be able to put in money and start making money hand over fist, but the ROAS isn't there, even though their purchase conversion rate is great. They only have two things that they can work on at this point. Number one, they can raise the average purchase conversion value by doing bundles or some other things, gets them a little bit closer, or they can figure out how to write better copy on the sales page to get more people to add to cart. See, our ads in this case study are only going to do so well unless we change another channel, like really lower the CPM by maybe going to Pinterest or TikTok. Our ads, the ad creative actually isn't the problem. The problem comes down to really the add to cart, how many people are hitting the landing page and adding to cart, and the average revenue that they are seeing when somebody leaves checkout. So the main things that the client really needs to focus on here in this case study is what can they do to even raise the value, let's just say the average cart value to $40, puts them right exactly where they need to be. So, well, if we make all these changes, we use these different levers, we know exactly what to do to influence realistic changes. This is a huge 40% jump. The only way you're going to get this kind of jump is by hiring professional copywriters, designing a professional sales page, and then really testing pricing in your market, because these are the two big levers that we were not able to pull for the client, where the client went out and hired some professional help on how to increase their bundle size and to write better copy on their sales page. So again, this is going to give a 7-day plan of exactly what to do next. I hope this gives you some insight on exactly how these fix finders work. Thanks again for checking out our Advertiser Fix Finder e-commerce case study. Our Advertiser Fix Finders are designed to assist people who have run ads in the past for a specific offer or a website, or if you're currently running ads for an offer or a website. Now, our Advertiser Fix Finders are currently designed to really help live real-world situations versus hypothetical situations that only produce pie-in-the-sky returns if everything lines up correctly. So just to be clear, our Advertiser Fix Finders work for people who are currently running ads. Now, we're in the final stages of creating several of these different Advertiser Fix Finders to account for different types of marketing funnels. And again, this is where you come in. So what we're doing is we're holding an Advertiser's Fix Finder 30-day sprint. And this is going to start May 4th. That's Monday, May 4th. See, we want to help you with your ads and your funnels, just like I did in this example, while leveraging our different Advertiser Fix Finders to get you more sales and leads quickly, to know exactly what to work on. So for a limited period of time, we're going to grant you access to all of our Advertiser Fix Finder tools, accompanied with a gamified training center with videos, tools, resource links, recommended experts, live support, and a private Facebook group. See, we want to work with you in a 30-day sprint to help you improve your ads and your funnels, or your clients' ads and funnels. So you're going to get lifetime access to all of our Advertiser Fix Finder tools, lifetime access to our gamified membership site and dedicated training modules, resource links, expert referrals, unlimited support inside of our Facebook group starting right now through May 31st, 2022. Now, you're also going to get live Ask Me Anything sessions with our team every single week just to make sure you don't leave any stone unturned, and handheld support. So moving forward, you always know exactly what is wrong and how to fix your ads and funnels, right? It's just like how to teach a man or woman how to fish and they can feed themselves for lives. So here's how the 30-day Advertiser Fix Finder sprint is going to work. Once you register for the Advertiser Fix Finder sprint, you're going to go ahead and be taken to a following page to ask you a few questions about your business, your offer, and your goals. The page is going to look something like this. Once you fill out the onboarding form, you're going to be taken to the Facebook group link. Between now and the start of the 30-day sprint, we will be reviewing your goals, marketing funnels to see how we can best assist you in this dedicated time together. Now, shortly after you fill out the form, we're going to be sending you an email on gaining access to the gamified training portal with all of your Advertiser Fix Finder tools, trainings, and resources. Now, this is going to give you time to dive into the Advertiser Fix Finder tools, trainings, and resources and have a running start once we go live. And again, this is all going to start Monday, May 2nd, 2022. So we're going to kick off the challenge with a 30-day challenge by gathering the starting numbers. During the sprint, we're going to be dropping additional resources, links, tools, expert interviews into the group to help address any issues that you run into along the way. Each Tuesday at 10 a.m., we're going to be hosting daily live Ask Me Anything sessions to get all of your questions answered and help you analyze your ads and your funnels with specific Advertiser Fix Finder tools. So we can pinpoint exactly what levers that you need to pull to maximize your results. Now, keep in mind, this is an active 30-day sprint. We want to know where you started and you ended up after the challenge. Now, we're going to be taking you through the exact same tools and processes that we use in our advertising agency for Black Box and Molly Marketing. This is the same process that we use to leverage on our $1,000 consulting calls. We really want to make this a no-brainer decision to join the 30-day sprint. So you can leverage the power of our Advertiser Fix Finder tools and finally know exactly what to do when you run into trouble. And once you know exactly what to fix on your own, you can decide if you want to fix it on your own, if you want to ask an expert done with you solutions, or if you just want it done for you and just get direct access to the done for you experts. Now, listen up. We like working with people who make quick decisions and take swift action. These type of people are who we see get the biggest results from these tools and trainings. We like to reward those who take quick action. So when you decide to join us by Monday, May 2nd, I'll give you $300 off the admission to make it really simple and easy. It's the low investment of just $297. Again, you're going to get a lot more support. This is what people paid over $1,000 just for this solution. Now, keep in mind, earlier you join, the more time that our team can review your marketing and funnels, and the more time you have to prepare for this 30-day sprint. The 30-day sprint starts Monday, May 2nd, 2022. Click the button down below to unlock the $300 discount for beta access before time runs out. Let's get your ads and funnels profitable for you. Click on the link down below to find out more information and sign up you and your team today. Again, if you're an agency, use this for your entire agency training. If you're just an individual with an individual offer, we are going to save you so much time and money. Let's get your ads profitable again. Click on that link below to find out more, and I will see you on the other side.